Good afternoon to the citizens of St. Bernard Parish. Today is Tuesday, April 7th, and another day has passed us in this coronavirus saga, if you will. A little update today with our numbers, and before I get into the numbers, I do want to say, like we do every day, is our prayers and thoughts are with the families of those who have passed away. We had 2 more deaths overnight at our hospital. So we're definitely together, praying for those families, praying for the friends, and praying for everyone in our parish right now that we are able to get through this with God's grace and peace. But we definitely mourn for the loss of 2 more citizens in St. Bernard Parish. And like I say every day, right now we have people that are out there that are fighting for their lives on ventilators at our hospital. So we want to make sure that we do that every day and make sure that we send that message of prayer and thoughtfulness to these families who are dealing with that. But our numbers went up just a little bit, as expected, as far as positive tests. Those numbers are becoming not very important to us anyway. We look at the numbers at our hospital and what's happening over there, because that's the front lines. And what's happening is the same thing since the beginning of this weekend. It really looks like we are leveling off with the activity at our hospital. So like we said, sadly, we had 2 more deaths overnight. Currently, we have 30 patients at our hospital, and that's a good sign. The activity in the emergency room is holding steady. We have plenty of ventilators to spare. And of those 30 patients, a smaller percentage of those from day to day seem to be reducing as far as our COVID patients. We did test the overall system in Region 1 and Region 3 with the utilization of the Convention Center in New Orleans. We transferred our first patient today to that hospital built by the Army Corps of Engineers. So our thanks go out to them and to all of the people in our region that are making those things happen. Also, every day we want to thank our healthcare workers, our first responders, our fire department, our sheriff's department. Every single day they are out there making sure that people are doing the right thing and that we send a message, a positive message, to the citizens of St. Bernard Parish that we have to do our part to make sure that we bring our world back into focus, get our world back to work. And the sooner that we comply, the degree in which we comply should get more and more and more as we go down this road, not less. So we always try to make sure that we send that message. We have to thank the school system. We've been up here for a couple of weeks now, and we haven't thanked them and their efforts and what they're doing for our children. Our children are home trying to learn over computers now, and parents are becoming teachers and learning how difficult it is to be a teacher. I know we have some new discipline rules for teaching now. I think we brought back corporal punishment for students. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's definitely brought back in the McInnis households, I can tell you that. But I could tell you that what our school system is doing in feeding all of our children at 3 locations over the past couple of weeks, and we hadn't mentioned that. We want to thank them for what they're doing for our children. Doris Voce, our superintendent, has rallied the troops, got all of their PPE, their masks, their gloves, and face shields to make sure that they are protected. And I think now what they're doing is on Mondays, they are giving food for a week for children who pull up at the 3 locations. I don't have those right now, but if you go on the school board's website, there's a message there from Ms. Voce. And I believe that they're going to continue to do that as long as they are needed. I do want to talk about some of the food distribution centers, if you will, throughout St. Bernard Parish. We have a lot of great organizations that do food drives, and they hand out food. Hopefully, they're handing out food to people in cars. We get complaints about some of the food distributors throughout our parish. And we don't control that. The only concern that we have is that people are adhering to the social distancing guidelines. That people who are handing out food have the proper equipment, protective equipment, and the people who are receiving it are in their car and not getting out of their car. We don't need people in lines, standing next to each other, and so forth. So I wanted to get that out there. Kudos to our school system and what they're doing for our community. Not only what they do every day for 9 months or so out of the year, people are realizing what they do, but in hard times like this when our students are home, we are still feeding the children of St. Bernard Parish. Let's get into the order that we issued yesterday. It goes into effect Wednesday morning. That is tomorrow when businesses open. They'll be under this executive order. First of all, my apologies go out to the council. We've been involved with this, and we've been dealing with these businesses as an administration, and we did not communicate that order to our council members. So if they told you they didn't know anything about it, if you called and complained or was trying to give some feedback about it, they were telling you the truth. We did not communicate with them, and that was an error strictly on my part, and that will not happen again. So I wanted to thank the council for their understanding. They only beat me up a little bit about it, but we move forward together on the same page. But just to kind of reiterate what's happening with this order, food distributors in St. Bernard Parish are going to be required to monitor their customers. You're going to be required to make sure that people are 6 feet apart. You're required to make sure that you protect your employees that are working for you every single day. You're going to be required to make sure that they're standing 6 feet apart in your building while they're shopping. A good idea that I've seen on the news was that they had one-way aisles, right? So if you have a bunch of aisles in your grocery store, or just a few, put some signs up and have a one-way deal going down where people don't have to pass each other. It's so important because I know in the last week we have so many people shopping that we have to monitor that, right? So it's going to be your responsibility. It's your part that you're playing in our community to make sure that this virus doesn't spread. We're asking everyone to stay home, and we're allowing them to go to the food distributors. Think about that. Everyone is coming to you, so we have to monitor that. We need to make sure we do that. And all of you have been very receptive. You've had some questions, and I hope that Mr. Jeff McLean and Clay Dillon are out there today explaining all of that to all of you, and I hope we can be a team moving forward to make this happen. So just monitor your customers. We talk about numbers, right? We have 9 businesses that we are allowing to control their own numbers. But if your number's 15 instead of 10, just communicate that with us, and more importantly, communicate that with your customers. We want you to put that number out there on your front door, or your entrance to your business, and we want somebody monitoring that. And we want you monitoring the line outside. If you have that many customers, which is a great thing, you're making money. This is a shared sacrifice of communities all over the world, right? You're able to go to work every day, and it's tough, and we know that. But you're able to go to work every day. So we're asking you to monitor and make sure we don't spread that virus. So we're working as a team, all of the businesses, big and small and in between. We're going to make sure that we don't spread this virus in St. Bernard Parish more than already is. We're going to make sure that we get to the end of this COVID-19 saga and St. Bernard Parish is going to be better for it. So we're doing really well right now, but it's not, and I said it yesterday, it's not a time to relax. It's a time to put the pedal to the metal, and I got it right today. I didn't say it backwards. And we need to put the full court press on this virus. So if you don't have to leave your house, don't leave your house. If you don't have to go to the grocery, don't go to the grocery. Remember, one person, one basket, once a week. If you can go once every other week, do that. It's so important. That's where everyone's going, right? And we know what's happening in our metropolitan area. St. Bernard Parish is a place that is close for a lot of people from the city of New Orleans. They use St. Bernard as their shopping, that grocery shopping destination. So we have to be cognizant of that. We have to make sure that we go as least as possible during these times. We're getting there. We see what's happening in New York. They're still on the upswing, but boy, I tell you, it looks like that they're making that turn. And when you look at the hospital numbers, that's where they're making that turn. So we're doing that here in St. Bernard Parish, and we're so proud of our citizens and what we're doing. We all know, we all see it. We all know that we can do better. So we need to concentrate on that. You know, every day that this thing goes by, what did I do yesterday that I can do better today? And we need to move forward like that until we just come off of this thing. What I hope to do here in St. Bernard Parish, and we're looking at these curves and flattening the curve and all, I want to get to the top of this thing. And if we do what we do every single day and get better and better and better, you know, I want to come straight down off of that curve. I want to go back to work as soon as possible. We can do that here in St. Bernard Parish, and we're going to do it. But the only way that we can do it is if we all have a shared responsibility to make that happen. So I wanted to thank the citizens for that. I apologize to the council. It won't happen again. We're in this fight, and it's sometimes you forget some of the most important things, and that was so important. I'm getting so many complaints from our businesses that when people leave the grocery, when people leave the gas station, they're wearing gloves. Great. You're making sure that you protect yourself. But don't take your gloves off and throw them on the ground. Who's got to pick them up? The workers that we're asking to come to work every day to provide us with the food that we're going to the grocery, you know, a lot now, right? What's happening? You're throwing your gloves on the ground. They got to pick that up. Please remember, take your gloves, your mask, whatever you might have on, roll it up, put it in a bag, and throw it away in a garbage can. I can't believe that I even have to ask that, but that is a major problem from what I understand in our grocery stores. So let's do that. We are asking that one person go to the grocery store. Don't bring a bunch of your children, right? Whether they're young or old. And if you need help, bring someone along with you. If you're a single mother, we're not going to turn you away at the grocery store. If you got a toddler with you, put her in the basket, or him in the basket with you, right? So you know, our grocers are going to be lenient with you. They're going to be understanding. But let's use some common sense. Let's not bring our 5 children to the grocery with us. Walking in the park, we're not going to shut that down as of today. We think everyone is complying and staying 6 feet apart, unless it's a couple or a married couple or a family unit at the park. We still cannot play at the playgrounds at the park, but as far as walking at Val Reese, at Sidney Torres, actually it's nice to see people out walking in the park, people out walking in the neighborhoods, and it's a really good thing to see. That, you know, biking is becoming a big thing now in St. Bernard Parish, and hopefully that trend will continue. I do want to mention that we're going to have a ribbon. We got 2 ribbon campaigns going on in St. Bernard Parish. One has already started. It's in the beautiful eastern part of our parish, spoke with a citizen today that they are tying red ribbons on homes that want them, and it signifies that that family is praying every day for our healthcare workers, for the families in mourning, for all of the different citizens, the first responders, and that this COVID will end soon. So we have a prayer, red ribbon campaign going on here in St. Bernard Parish. If you want to go buy a red ribbon and put it on a tree in front of your house or one of your columns at your house, feel free to do that. We want to make sure we show everyone our faith here in St. Bernard Parish. We have another one that's for our healthcare workers that Nunez Community College is going to be conducting and making sure we let our healthcare workers know that we are supportive of them. A representative from Nunez Community College will come on tomorrow and give us an update on what that's going to look like and what you can do to be a part of it. Tomorrow also we're going to have Councilman Lewis come by and go over all of the different stimulus packages for businesses and for employees that are unemployed through the unemployment. So that's going to be interesting tomorrow. I think I know just about as much as everything about those items. And I've talked to Councilman Lewis today and I realize I know nothing. So it's going to be very interesting and educational for you. I've gotten a few requests that we go over that here on these updates. So I'm going to close today with just a thought and for everyone to know that our prayers are with the 10 people in St. Bernard Parish who have passed away. And please, as a family, as a community, let's come together and make sure that we pray. And while we're praying, realize how important it is to listen to all of the guidelines and the things that our leaders, our president, our governor, and your local leaders are telling you. So that's our prayer, that you guys will get it, you will listen, and we will all comply. So that's it for today. So thank you, and God bless.